What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology, the Titans Action, sporting in the bottom or the left of the map. It looks like the map is cut straight down the middle. Sporting in the left of the map in the green color, playing as Hades. His name is Mateo. His partners today in the sky blue color, playing as Ra. His name is Ninjo. And finally, rounding out this team in the red color, playing as Uranus. His name is Tunison. Together they make up the Team CUD and their opponents today with their life on the line in the purple color. Sky blue color? No. The magenta color is another way of thinking about it, apparently. I'm going to call it purple, though. His name is Platinum, and he is playing as Uranus. In the yellow color, playing as Zeus. His name is Pharaon? I don't know. Someone tell me. I don't know. Anyways, his name is Pharaon. He's playing as Zeus. And finally, rounding out this team in the blue color, playing as Kronos. His name is Zokyo. We've had a bit of a crazy couple of games here thus far, with CUD kind of just creeping ahead in both of the first ones, just barely in front of Team GDM here. We'll see what they're going to be able to come up with in this game. They did decide to go with something a little bit crazy here. Zeus, Uranus, Kronos. And this can only mean one thing if you ask me. And I think that they're going to have to go for something aggressive here with this team composition. Going for Zeus on Alfheim seems to be a bit of a risky maneuver, because generally speaking, Zeus takes a while to get going. And if your opponent picks something like Ra, which they did, Zeus going to really suffer here. So we'll see how it's all going to go now. This is Hades as well. So Hades is also another defensive god. Team CUD have really thought about this one as best as they can, going with the Hades here in this game. Hades are one of the strongest team game defensive gods because of Sentinels. It means if you decide to double one player in particular, they can get access to the Sentinels and help defend. So if Tunison becomes the target of a big offensive, things can be really tough here. So honestly, the best spawn here for Team GDM, if they did want to get aggressive, would have been the Uranus player on this side, the Kronos player in the middle, and finally, in the top player would have been Pharaon here to go for a huge Athena rush onto the Uranus. But in the pocket here, it's not going to be actually that bad, because all you have to do here as the Zeus player is send one or two villagers forward and build your military buildings close to start putting the pressure onto this Uranus here. We'll see if that's what's going to happen. We see an incredibly fast advance time here from Zokyo, going for a 4-minute advance. No hunting dogs at all, jumping onto his wood over there, finishing off these elk, I should say, on this position as well, mining down this gold mine, and he's going to be sending the temple forward to try and take out Mateo's villagers on this location. It looks to me that Mateo has not been able to spot this one here, with the sentry tower here cutting this location off just a little bit out of it. So he doesn't know that this is coming, and this is going to hurt a lot for Mateo. Now, unlike every other map, normally Alfheim can be very tough to advance early, and so these aggressive rushes, they can do a lot of damage really early, as we see the oracles coming through here, going to be attempting to hit this location over here, trying to stay at a line of sight for as long as they can. 355 coming in as Mateo, he doesn't have focus just yet. He hasn't spotted this. Where are you going? Attack the villagers, Mateo. But you just missed it. You don't know. Why? How do you not know that there's hunt here? He's going after this house over here. If he can take that down, that's obviously going to be an open gold mine, as we see the Promethean coming over here, going to attempt to finish off that tower there. But this is kind of nightmare situation, if you ask me, for an aggressive Kronos, not finding the hunt there. As we see the Ajax coming out for Mateo, he's still not advanced, as these villagers are getting away with absolute murder here, sitting on this list. 7 villagers here sitting on this hunt. Right next to this, we see deconstruction from Zokyo here on that temple, but the advance time for Mateo is so far back here, as we see Athena coming through for Mateo super late here as well. We also see Tar coming through for Ninjo super late. as well as the Hermes has actually been the god of choice here for Farron. He's deciding to go for Centaur on this map, making himself Sylvan Law, making himself Centaur and going aggressive. We see the Promethean pushing in here from Platinum, going to be looking to try and take out Tunison, who's going to have his buildings up, going to be completely fine here at this point, looking for something to take out. The Citizen over here gathering from their berries, going to be retreating away, I reckon, fairly shortly. I mean, I guess the Promethean is here. These villagers can be fine to just kind of sit here. But looks like the Citizen going to be pulling back over on that location, as we are seeing the counter barracks coming in over here, as we see the Sentinels getting dropped onto this position, jumping over these walls. Very, very risky here, as we see the Minotaur coming out. There's going to be a Chiron here as well, as Zokyo, he's going all out on this position, but we've got the Ajax here. The villagers on this position have finally been pushed off, and the Ajax here is going to get some damage done. These counter barracks are doing nothing now. He's cut production here. Maybe he's going to be pulling them away. We see a cheeky attempt at a ghost building there. He does manage to pick off one of those Terma. A second one will end up falling there as well. No, dodges that one there, as all the fighting going to be getting brought down here. We see the units retreating back here, as Ninho, he's getting himself, I should say, his second town center. His armory is coming up, and he's also building himself the death box, the box of death here, to get some sort of a shifting sand into that one and pick up a whole bunch of those units there, as we see the counter barracks pulling back. Zokyo here hurting just a little bit, I'd say. I mean, I wouldn't have minded to see Zokyo go for like a second town center behind this, instead of go for double counter barracks or something. Just go for the forward push here, look for that hunt, try and pick that off, drop the town center. It would have been really, really good here. We do see the units coming through over here, trying to pick off villagers on the back, as Mateo is just like, nah, I'm just going to happily grab this town center over here. No problems here with the Chiron there to defend. More than enough, as we are going to be seeing Platinum trying to push in over here. Platinum and Tunison in a very, very similar position here, but Tunison's gold is under threat here. This Citizen very far away. There is a sentry tower to jump into, so no real problems there, as the Citizen going to jump back onto that location. Tunison trying to do his best job here to try and hold this position. I mean, it's still really, really close here. He probably could take this fight, but who really knows what's going to happen here? We see the units turning around. One Murmillo gets taken down. Big shockwave there, hitting 3 Terma. Tons of Terma there, though, hit by Platinum. Gets a little bit of a better shockwave there. None of his units really falling in that initial shockwave there, as they're trying to push back in. We are going to be seeing Farron coming in now, going to be using his army to help attack this Tunison base here with the help of the Centaur and everything else. The army's going to be coming in. These units of Tunison will get picked off very, very easily if Farron decides that he wants to go that way. He might be attempting to take out Citizen, though, so we'll see what he wants to be picking off with these Centaur, as the unit's going to be retreating back for the time being here, as this village is retreating into the tower over there off of that gold mine for the time being. It looks like Tunison in a bit of a pickle here. As you could just imagine how much damage Zokyo could have actually done if they doubled onto Tunison's forward gold mine, or tripled onto Tunison's forward gold mine here, and just said, look, I don't mind Mateo having some opportunities here. As we see a big cheeky little shifting sands here. Does actually pull a ton of units in, as the Terma, they should be taking this Murmillo down, but not going to happen there, as these units are all going to end up falling. Nice play here by Ninho, as the army's still trying to push in. There's a medium Hippocon coming through for Farron. He's very slow. Every time a Zeus player goes for Centaur, even if it's like Mister level or like Squash level Centaur play, it's always slow, and you can always find that it's not going to do all too much, as these Citizen are getting taken down. 2 Citizen kills there by Farron, as he's starting to make those Centaur pay for themselves really, really nicely here. As Zokyo pushing in, Mateo in a fantastic position. He's actually utilizing his partner's reign here. He's got tons of farms. He hasn't produced a single military building just yet, going completely boomy here in this game. Dropping in armory as well. He's going to go straight to the next age, which makes a lot of sense here against the Chronos. As these Odysseus and Jason pulling back here, we see the the centaur looking around, trying to find some extra units to pick off. You do really want to continue utilizing the special ability of these centaur polemarks. Take down a unit here, take down a citizen there. He's going to attempt to pick off this citizen over here. It looks like Tunison not paying attention. He is going to be losing that citizen as well. Nice play there by Farron. He's getting some really, really nice value out of those citizens in this game. Tunison in real dire straits here. But the problem is that Ninho, he hasn't been touched, and he's done a 10-minute heroic age here. That means his economy is absolutely huge right now from that rain, as we see Apollo coming through as well for Mateo here in this game. As the army taking down the Mamilo over here, the units retreating away on this position. We see Zokyo, he's gone up to 3 town centers now, pumping out the villages as best as he can. He's got Hunt over here, checking out his economic upgrades. He has a couple of upgrades there, going to try and break down this wall. Now look at this, we do see in here, he's out of his base now, can start attacking his golds here if the opportunity arises, as we do see Ninho going to drop a Migdol stronghold on this position, prevent the raids from coming around a little bit more as Platinum and Farron trying to find somewhere to push in. Now just imagine if Farron, instead of going for Hippocon here, instead of these Hippocon, 5 Hippocon, he probably could have around about 8 hoplites, and this army could just push in and kill Tunisans, or probably even more than 8 hoplites, probably like 10 or 12 hoplites here. Tunison could just push in and kill this town center with the assistance of Platinum and remove Tunison from the game. This could be Farron and Platinum's plan, but with the Hippocon, they just don't really have it. We do see the Pharaoh coming through here, going to take out one Centaur there, as the Centaur is trying to take down these units sitting underneath this town center. Doesn't really do all too much damage, as we see 8 Citizen currently sitting idle in the base here for Tunison, as he is getting bullied by GDM in this game, as this Ra is just being too slow to come and help. These Centaur can also very easily take down the cavalry at this point. Normally the Ra player doesn't want to fight against this, but we see the Pharaoh coming in, going to be dunking in and out of that town center, ready to take down Centaur now. The Pharaoh does tons of damage to the Centaur, but does in fact miss the Centaur as well. So we'll see how it's all going to amount there, as we see some units coming up. Looks like Farron losing all of those Centaur is really going to slow down this pressure, but Tunison, so many idle units here as he's waiting for Ninho to come over here and assist him. Ninho is getting some units out very slowly, just 1 Migdol stronghold out here, as the army can just push around, pick off more and more units here as the Tunison army retreating, but the army of Platinum still coming forward, taking down Manners, taking everything down. We see an underworld coming through from Mateo, as Mateo has got a ton of units here now to come over and help. You cannot can get over here any faster from Zokyo's perspective. He's got a handful of units over here, so he will come over and attempt to defend, but it looks to me like Mateo should be able to help defend this one, as Tunison pulls back, and it looks like not Tunison. Why did I say Tunison there? He's moving his army out of his base for some reason, as GDM decides to pull back there. And we'll see how things are going to go, as the unit's going to push forward, attempt to grab this town center for themselves, as the chaos has been stopped for the time being. But Tunison is in pain. We've got 2 town centers for Farron. We've got 3 town centers for Platinum. We've got 3 town centers for Zokyo. So GDM is well in the lead right now. But the question is going to be, the boom from Mateo and the boom from Ninho has been gigantic, as we see a 3rd town center coming up for Ninho. And oftentimes in these positions, being just a little bit, one player being just a little bit behind here in Tunison is not really going to be enough, unless the other team has managed to boom enough themselves. And we see exactly that coming from Zokyo, as he's clicking up through Helios. The vortexes, or vortexi, the vortexes are going to be coming through for Zokyo very soon, but he's got way too many Terma. He actually needs to get rid of these Terma and go into mostly infantry units right now. Like even earlier than now would have been good, but he's going to attempt to put some more pressure on. They're getting some good value over here. We see this this cavalry going somewhere. I'm not sure what it's doing here, as it does end up getting picked off. There's no god powers. I mean, Ninho does have a locust here that he might want to be using at some point, as we see the raids coming through, looking to hit Mateo's resources over here. But he does not know that there's a gold mine there, but he finds the Ra villagers. The Ra villagers do have themselves skin of the rhino, though, so they will take a little bit longer to get picked off, as the villagers will be retreating away. One or two will probably fall as they run for this wall over here, going to be breaking away from that location, as Zoko still full Terma. He needs to stop being full Terma here. These like, unless you go for a vortex on villagers, which is not really the best because the villagers can just walk away, it's very, very tough here. As you see the Chiron getting taken down over here, we see the Satyr pushing forward and to try and take down these units as best as they can, but we see Zokyo pulling back just a little bit. Just keep putting pressure on. Don't run away. We see both of these palaces are up now, as a big locust coming down onto this position, going to pick off a couple of villagers, preventing the town center from coming down. Going to slow Farron down. You do have to remember that Farron still has ceasefire here, so he has a little bit of time, as the army going to be pushing back in onto this position here. Tunison going to be losing a ton of units here, as he's going to be retreating into that manor as best as he can. We've got a handful of Ninjo units coming in here to defend as well, as the villagers desperately wanting to get this settlement up. As this villager being incredibly brave, 1 HP remaining. The locust finishes up there. The town center going to be continuing there, as we're seeing some fire siphon coming in. Still Terma here for Zokyo. I mean, how many resources does he have is the question. He's got plenty of resources. Just delete the Terma here. Don't make Arcus. Make infantry units and use your vortex here onto Tunison. That's got to be the best play here from Zokyo here to completely clean this game. But he's so far in front. He's taking down these Mateo units incredibly nicely here, as Platinum is pushing through this beautifully. Ninho effectively has to defend this in like kind of 1.5 versus 2 here, as Farron is still roaming around with these Centaur. And the big thing from Farron is, I mean, I think he's still in the classical age, but there's going to be a very short amount of time between when Farron is in the classical age to when he's in the mythic age, and that's going to be when things start being very, very difficult here. As we see the destroyers coming forward, big vortex now coming through for Zokyo, as this town center and the rest of this base is going to be falling here incredibly fast. Beautiful play here by Zokyo, exactly what he should be doing, going straight after that underworld passage. We see restoration getting dropped here as the town center falls. This underworld passage is going to be kept alive for the entirety of that restoration. For some reason, it just stays alive crazily under the restoration, but it's going to be falling quickly here, as well as the vortex, as the vortex manages to kill the underworld, kills the town center, everything falling here. We see the Migdal stronghold going to be getting taken down here, as well as the Hecagigantes is going to be able to finish that one off with the help of the fire. So we've also got some Satyr here as well. What's going on over here? We see the catapult coming through, but the catapult, there's not really enough defenses here, as the fire siphon going to be able to take them down with the help of the rest of those units there, as the game freezes, ladies and gentlemen. As the game freezes, a classic climax. This is just peak Age of Mythology. Age of Mythology at its finest. Exactly what you expect from an Age of Mythology game to boot here. As what do you do but say 2002 game, ladies and gentlemen. Can't wait for Retold.
Yes.
And we're starting back up. We're back in here as the Migdal stronghold gets taken down. The Ajax goes down. What can CUD do here? Bolt there onto the Chiron from the Zeus player Farron there, as he's pushing in to help out. Do we have any units to come through here from Platinum? Platinum's on 4 town centers here as well. He can come forward and drop a palace here at any time. Meanwhile, this location is completely secured. Ninho too slow to make his Ra get big here. As Tunison has been relatively wiped off the map. He's pushing back here, trying to hold as best as he can over here. But Zokyo is 4,700 score. Platinum is 4,000 score. Farron is 3,000 score. Everyone is in front here for GDM, as they are in a commanding position, and we'll see if they can convert here, as the fire siphon coming back over onto this position here, going to take down the Petropolis and everything else. Now we do have to remember that Mateo does still have access to an earthquake here, so we can push through here if he wants, but instead of wanting to push through here, he wants to click the resign. Mateo taps out, Ninho taps out, Tunison taps out, and GDM forces a game number 4, ladies and gentlemen. They stay alive on their match point here. What an insane game here. Zokyo turns it on. He said, I thought the fail from the early game from Zokyo was going to allow Mateo to be absolutely gigantic here, but Mateo plays it perfectly. Zokyo plays it perfectly beyond that. Mateo plays it really nicely to keep Tunison alive after the kind of shocking early game here from what I would only say is Ninho's fault here from being so slow to the heroic age, as Tunison just cannot recover. Platinum gets too far in front. Farron does whatever he wants. Zokyo does whatever he wants. GDM does whatever he wants, or whatever they want. And what they wanted was to get the dub, and they do manage to make that work. If you guys enjoyed this game, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. We've got a game number 4 coming. If you're on the YouTubes, hit that subscribe button as well, and I'll see you guys in the next game.